Hey, what's up, guys? In today's YouTube video, we'll be talking about tenant red flags to look out for. Some things that, based off how they interact with you, you might not want to invite them into your house and keep them as a tenant and have them sign a lease with you because of how they interact with you, what they say. And so let's just get started. There's a couple questions that if they ask you, um, you probably do not want them to be one of your tenants. So the first question is asking for cheaper rent. And this is important because there's different types of buyers out there. There's, of course, buyers who they just want the best, the cheapest deal, right? There's buyers who care more about the quality. It doesn't matter how much the price is, as long as they get like the best quality type of. That's like kind of like if you were to stay in a hotel, right? If you were to get into a suite, versus if you were to just take a normal bedroom at a hotel. So there's different types of buyers. You do want to try to avoid the buyer who just wants to save as much money as they can, because down the line they're going to ask you, why do I have to pay this bill? Why are the utilities so high, right? So the first part is, yes, do not get tenants who are cheap or who ask for cheaper rent. The second question, if they ask this, you kind of want to avoid them, is asking you to do things for them before they even sign the lease. So that's like being needy, right? So if they ask you, "Oh, can you move this bed in for me?" Or "Can you allow my friends to come in?" Right? What's the policy on guests? Can I have a lot of friends over? Another thing to think about is maybe they have a girlfriend or boyfriend. If they're asking, "Okay, can I have my girlfriend or boyfriend over?" Well, you have to be careful, because if the girlfriend boyfriend just stays with that person in that room, basically throughout the whole year, well, then that person should be paying rent, right? So you have to kind of assess the situation in that case and see what, if they're asking you for something even before they get started with the whole application process or before they sign the lease, then that's a huge red flag for me. The next thing you want to look for is responsiveness. So if they're not very responsive, that you give them the rental application, or maybe you ask for something like FICO score, credit score, right? And they take a long time to get back to you. Well, that either tells you they're not interested or they're not very responsible people, because they kind of just put off things. And I understand everyone procrastinates, but there's a certain level of responsibility that people have just naturally. So if they are more responsive now, the likelihood that they're going to respond right away when you contact them to say that the rent is very late and that you need to send rent as soon as possible, it's very high, versus someone who isn't responsive at all and you contact them for rent and they spend several days, several days later that they're able to even pay you the rent, because they're just not responsible people. Another thing I do to look for red flags on a tenant is look at social media. So I screen their social media, look for people or I look for smoking, drinking, drugs, potentially, even like raves, right? Party type people, right? I try to stay away from those type of people, because, the chances of them throwing a house party and damaging the house is a lot higher. I look for people who have a bunch of fierce tattoos all over, kind of like the bad guy vibe, right? And in the end, like if you have a bad feeling about someone, your gut is telling you not to invite that person into your house or as a tenant, then you should, trust your gut, basically. And so that's kind of like the big lesson here. If you have a weird feeling or just uneasy feeling about bringing this guy into your house, then don't do it. Always trust your intuition. Every time I overrode my gut reaction, I was always wrong. I always made a mistake when I overrode my gut. So it's very important to trust your intuition. If you get this vibe that this guy's going to be a lot of trouble, or him or her is going to be a lot of trouble down the line, then don't bring that tenant in. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Please like and subscribe. And I'll be putting out videos once a week. Thank you. You guys have a good day.